What's going on, guys? Jesse 504 here, bringing you all APA week numero 9 team builder, trying out more things with the team builder. But yeah, this one's also going to be a quick draft analysis. As you can see, we've got our third team on the bottom. Torn T Sand with Keldeo. We've got Torn, Drill, Keldeo, Licky Licky, Jellicent, Clefairy, Tyranitar, Dracozolt, Roselia, Magmortar, and Reuniclus. It's a pretty well-rounded team, I would say. Not too top-heavy. We do have a lot of... Actually, it is relatively top-heavy, but we've got a lot of good stuff to round it out with the Clefairy, Roselia, good combo. Licky Wish is nice. And then a little bit of regen going on with Reuniclus and Torn. I'm not sure, hypothetically, if we make playoffs, if this is the draft that we bring, or if the other draft, draft 2 is the one that we will bring. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. And this week we've got a game against one of my very, very good friends, Midpokemaster, and his Kentucky Torracats. And I helped mid-draft this team, and I gotta play it now. And it's kind of an issue on matchup. Mid's team consists of Mew, Dracovish, Weavile, Kartana, Moltres, Seismitoad, Aromatisse, Porygon 2, Dragalge, and Boltund. So, things on matchup. My Torn T looks very, very solid. He has Flying Resist Boltund. My Excadrill looks very solid. He has Ground Resist. Moltres, so trying to take advantage of those two things is going to be really important for me. Keldeo seems quite solid, although he does have some relatively good counterplay in Seismitoad and Dragalge. So I either will want to like flip turn, but maybe I'll get water absorbed, or I want a toxic, maybe he'll absorb it with Dragalge. It'll be 50-50 a little bit with my Keldeo. And it also has to check Weavile is the other thing. Licky seems a little bit too passive here, allows in threats like Mew, like Kartana, and I just don't really want that to happen, and it allows in Dracovish is the main one. Jellicent, kind of required for the Dracovish. Clefairy doesn't really seem that needed here because it would be good for Weavile, but Weavile can just knock it, and then it's not good for Weavile. Kartana is relatively free on it, although if I was running the Flamethrower Clefairy, I'd have to think twice about it. And I could like... but it also just like saps momentum if he wants to like go Dragalge on me and try to threaten one, because I don't have good Dragalge pivots either. Kitar is good. It's the dark type for Mew if he's like not body press. I think like Cosmic Power, Stored Power comes for sure. I'm just not sure. I do think you can just Cosmic Power, Stored Power, body press, Roost, and it wins. Dracozolt seems quite good here. I can't really like I can't click Bolt Beak for free while the Seismitoad is around, but once that thing goes down, Bolt Beak becomes incredibly free. Roselia, not really needed here. Kartana, Moltres, Mew all kind of take advantage of it, and Dragalge as well. Magmortar, Free Vish, and Reuniclus seems like a solid offensive threat here if he's not spit off P2. If he is spit off P2, it becomes a little bit more challenging, but other than that, seems like a very solid offensive threat here. And yeah, we're just gonna hop straight into mock replays, going first up with a sort of mock with my initial build. And my initial build consisted of Tornadus with Taunt, Nasty Plot, Hurricane, and U-Turn. I believe Life Orbed Excadrill with Focus Blast to Oko Kartana. Keldeo with Rocky Helmet. Maybe at this point I was Choice Scarf, but maybe Rocky Helmet. We've got Tyranitar with, I believe, Choppleberry. Maybe it was leftovers at this point. It's kind of swapped around a little bit. Jellicent with leftovers and Water Absorb and Physical Defense with Scald and Dazzling Gleam, and then Strength Sap and Toxic. And then a Choice Scarf Hustle, Dracozolt. But yeah, let's just get into this and we can sort of analyze. And there are a couple iterations, so you guys will get to see. But yeah, this is lead Scarf Keldeo, which is a bit iffy. And I go Torn on a flip turn. It can chew a Draco, hypothetically, if it needs to. But issue now, Weavile is in, and I get knocked, and that does so much damage. I get it justified, doesn't really matter. And he just Psycho Cuts, and I'm dead. and I'm fucked. And I go Dracozolt now, and he goes Toad, but I can throw off a Dragon Claw. However, that's not really a position where I want to be in, throwing off an 80% accurate Dragon Claw, otherwise I lose. He gets up rocks on my Torn switch, so now I really don't want my Torn to get knocked either. I plot up here, just because I figured Hard Weavile isn't a play. And we get good chip on the Dragalge. He misses a Draco. And so I plot again, just to sort of simulate what would happen, because I go down to 2%. And I hard swap into my T-Tar. Didn't want to, like, risk anything. Sort of like, I don't know why exactly I hard swap instead of U-turn, but like maybe if you had like a random helmet mon in the back to like pick me off, it would have been unfortunate. And now I get my drill in. Kartana Leaf Blade does so much, but I do outspeed and can kill it with my Earthquake, but I only get one more attack. However, that one more attack will be a nice attack. And I do 78 clean to the Dracovish, and we will see Sand End, so we don't know if he's Sand Rush or not. And he appears to be the Choice Scarf when he wins the speed tie. And I have to swap back out. I go Jellicent here, which is more expendable now that Dracovish is gone, and I can potentially throw off like a Toxic, but he does. Jason makes a good play, gets the Dragalge back in. I have to Strength Sap to stay healthy, and now I kind of need to sack one if he clicks like Focus Blast here. T-Tar can like chew a little bit. He opts to T-Bolt and gets a T-Bolt para, which makes the ending a bit scarier, but my T-Tar might be able to claim good chip on Seismitoad. I Earthquake. I think Crunch is more free there, but Earthquake is not terrible. He gets a Scald off, and I have to go Torn and Regen. I should U-turn here. I Hurricane. I think actually Hurricane was the range to kill, so that's fine. Weavile comes out, and I kind of have to sack my Jellicent, and then just hope that he's not Ice Shard Weavile, which is possible in the matchup, because Axel, Nox, Psycho Cut, Low Kick all seem warranted. If he's Ice Shard, I lose. If he's not, he makes the hard Seismitoad play, which is a potentially game-losing play. I feel like Mew is way more expendable there, because now I can swap out. You kind of showed that you're not Ice Shard, and I can Bolt Beak you. Cosmic Power, I just have to keep you taunted until I die, pretty much, and then I'll be fine. Hurricane, Confuse, Jason reveals the Lumberry, which is a good bring. And it is 29, so I can plot once and then die to a roll. If we didn't die to a roll, hitting one Hurricane is easier than hitting two. And I Bolt Beak. And I Bolt Beak again, and I miss. So this seems like not terrible, but also just like if he's Ice Shard Weavile, that game is unwinnable. So it's a bit interesting here if he elects to bring that versus if he doesn't. So I knew that I needed to make some changes. First things first, bulkier Tornadus, because Kartana is an issue. Second thing second is a whatchamacallit, bulkier Keldeo for the Weavile to pivot in a little bit better. And then Excadrill, I could maybe even go just Choice Band, which seems more free. And then Dracozolt is a good breaker, but it relies on hitting its move. Versus this game, I go with Reuniclus with an offensive Trick Room set. And that only relies on Focus Blast for Weavile if it's not low. If it's low, I can Shadow Ball. Kartana is so frail that it'll die to Shadow Ball. And Focus Blast for Porygon too, if that does come, which it totally could. But it could also come physically defensive for Drill. So it's something to keep in mind. But yeah, this game, I feel like I have to lead a little bit differently. I feel like leading Torn is now my best lead, because my Keldeo is no longer Scarf. It doesn't lead as well. But it's also a fine like bluff lead. However, Weavile is such a good anti-lead that maybe I should have led Keldeo. But I just didn't want to on the prospect of like it looks relatively obvious. We do catch him out and get some nice chip on him from the Life Orb and the Triple Axle, and I can throw off a Toxic pretty safely. And then get in my Torn on the rocks up. And now I'm bulkier, so my Hurricanes won't be doing as much. So I might as well just U-turn and get in Drill and pretty much claim one. Yeah, Hard Toad takes 60% plus toxic, and yeah, I get the seismitoad for relatively free. It just get up rocks, which is a slight issue. He doubles Kartana, which is a fantastic play, knowing that Jellicent needs to get in, which is something that I could see Mid doing, is he has plenty of room to double, but I think that a choice locking set like has to come, right? Or it's Life Orb, but I don't think you ever... Actually, that T-Tar play was way too aggressive. He could have just clicked Leaf Blade, huh? But I figured that my Torn was a very telegraphed switch, so I kind of had to make the aggro double into T-Tar. And he gets his card again, and this time I go Torn. And I still take a knock, and now I have to take rocks every time I come in, which is an issue. So I could theoretically go Drill here and Spin, which would kind of be a waste, because like Drill and Spin versus Drill and Kill is sort of like an interesting position for me. But I actually get Drill and Kill multiple things, because I get Drill and Kill. I go Torn here, because I know that I need to keep this thing taunted in order to win this game. He goes Regalgy though on the very telegraph taunt, and I can now U-turn into my T-Tar, reset Sand, and then if I can reposition my Excadrill, can be GG from there pretty much. I don't really need my T-Tar too much anymore. Mew comes in, I feel like I have a relatively free crunch here, just gotta keep it low, or just go Torn and minimize the chances of it like beating me right here, right now. So I taunt it, and he stored powers, and I can U-turn, keep around my Torn, and get into my Jellicent, which is expendable now that Dracovish is dead, and get a Toxic off on this thing, which I figured was kind of important. He stored powers, and I get my Toxic off. He Synchronize, he Lumberry, and I have to get another Toxic off, but the taunt will end, which is kind of scary, because he gets to soft boiled up, and I Toxic, and now I have some interesting turns where maybe I can like try to pivot around to minimize stuff, like if I can get in my T-Tar to reset Sand. I get my Torn though, just to try to keep it taunted, but he does make the aggro stored power play instead of trying to set up more. So now I get my T-Tar, and I consider going like hard Jellicent would be kind of saucy, so I do. But actually I just died of Toxic plus Sand, right? Actually I get my lefties to keep me alive, but I still think that later Culver will be better. On the Dracovish makes me more reliable pivot in the event where it has to stay, where it stays alive a little bit longer as opposed to being a sack. But Dragalge is a sack, Weavile is a sack, and then you gotta try to win the Scarf Cart, but you cannot because of my T-Tar just coming in and resetting the Sand. If I couldn't do that, I lost because Leaf Blade just won. Still things to keep in mind is that late game Scarf Cart is very scary, especially if my Torn is low or dead, and I don't have access to Sand. I believe this is a roll heavily in my favor, if not guaranteed to kill, but Earthquake will not kill from full, so just things to keep in mind. But yeah, this is what we're rocking out with. Minus that last minute change to the Jellicent to make it Colbur Berry. We've got this U-turn taunt plot Hurricane Torn, Choice Band Excadrill, Rocky Helmet, bulkier Toxic flip turn, stabs Keldeo, T-Tar, which is Smooth Rock offensive with max HP, max attack, Adamant Nature, this Jellicent set that I told earlier, and then this offensive Trick Room Uniclus with Psychic, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, Trick Room, Life Orb, max special attack, max HP, and yeah, hopefully we can cook with this, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of team builder, and see you guys in the battle tomorrow.